In about 30 minutes, we'll have a rare chance on the floor of the Senate. Doesn't happen often. We'll have consideration of two efforts to amend the Constitution of the United States. We all take this seriously. Each one of us, before we could exercise our responsibility as senators, swore to uphold and defend that Constitution. And now we're being asked to amend it. How often have we amended the Constitution? In the past 220 years, since we passed the Bill of Rights, 220 years, we have amended it 17 times to abolish slavery, to give women the right to vote, significant historic decisions. What comes before us today are two amendments which frankly don't stand the test of whether they meet constitutional standards. I'm going to vote against both. I thank my colleague Senator Udall of Colorado for offering a version. Senator McConnell and Senator Hatch have offered their own. I don't believe that either one of them is the right thing for America. Here's what it comes down to. If we pass either of these constitutional amendments, we will be forced to cut government spending at exactly the wrong moment in time when it comes to our economy. When our economy is in trouble, revenues are down, we step in with stabilizers to try to make sure that we keep families afloat during difficult times and restore our economy to growth. Those stabilizers are threatened and endangered by these balanced budget amendments. Secondly, the enforcement of these balanced budget amendments will be by our federal courts. Can you imagine that the day after we pass a budget, lawsuits spring up across America in the federal courts challenging whether or not we have exceeded the constitutional requirement that no more than, say, 18% of the gross domestic product be spent? Arguments that there's been a miscalculation. How long will that take to resolve in court, and what happens to America in the meantime? And then what remedies do the courts have? The Republicans have made it clear, because of their view, one of the remedies cannot be extending taxes on the wealthiest in America. They never want that to happen. Now they want to enshrine that theory in the Constitution. Turning to our courts for enforcement of spending is, in my mind, a direct violation of the spirit and letter of the law in the Constitution, which gives to Congress exclusively the power of the purse. It is a bad idea. It is certainly not one that we should support. I also want to say that this approach is unnecessary. There comes a time, and we have reached it, when we need to have the political will in a bipartisan fashion to deal with our country's problems, whether it's the tax cut, extending the government's life into the next fiscal year, or dealing with our long-term deficit. It takes political will, maybe even political courage. It doesn't take a constitutional amendment. Let us defeat both of these amendments. Let us show our respect for this Constitution that we've sworn to uphold and defend, and not pass something that hasn't been thought through, that may in fact harm America rather than help it.